Hey, future badass business owner. So, you are thinking about starting a trash, junk, hauling, removal business. Well, this is a great business to get into because we love to collect our junk, but then again, we have to get rid of our junk. So, today we're going to talk about what steps you need to take to get this new business off the ground. All right, now the first thing you need to do is you need to make sure this is the right business for you. You're going to get dirty, you're going to get gross, you're going to come across some of the grossest things you've ever come across in your life doing this. And sometimes the stuff's going to be heavy, it might have some bugs in it, it might have all kinds of stuff. And you're going to be doing this day in and day out until you find other people that are going to help you out, and then you can pass along some of that stuff. So you need to make sure that if you're going to dive into this business, that that you're going to be good doing it. It's not for the faint of heart, because like I said, you're going to be doing a lot of time doing it. So if you think you're good to go, then we can start to dive in. But before you do any type of business, it doesn't matter what you do, you have to do your research. And this is where you're going to go out there and you're going to get the answers to some common things that are very important for you to know. So let's take a look at some of these things that are going to end up saving you time and money, which is the biggest reason why you want to do this. Now, what are some of the areas that you're going to research? Well, 3 of the areas we're going to talk about really quickly. 1 is going to be your competition. 2 is going to be the legal requirements to get your business up and running. And 3rd is the money that you're going to need to get the business going. The good thing in this particular business, you can start relatively cheap. So we'll get to that section. So first off, let's talk about looking at your competition, because your competition is going to be big or small. The biggest one obviously is going to be the trash hauling people that are out there and they have their pickup days and everything else. What do they do poorly? For example, do they not come? They only do it once a month. That's your opportunity. Do they not pick up certain things that you could possibly pick up? So what do they do well? The fact that, they're organized, they can come get it all and take it all in one shot. That is something they do well. So you can just go through each of the different items, because you need to figure out how you're going to stand out above those competition. For example, in my town, there's probably 4 or 5 people I can call for trash pickup, and they all have different things that they do well and that they do poorly, but there's certain ones that stand out to me, and they're the ones that are always my first go-to. So how are you going to stand out amongst your competition? You need to look at the quality of the products or services that you offer. Obviously, you don't have any products, so you need to look at the services that you do. What you will and will not take is going to be huge for people, especially when they're looking at like mattresses, heavy, bulky things, tires, which are very tricky in a lot of different areas. How do they charge? For example, tires are typically charged separate than the rest of the items. Same thing with any chemicals or anything else. So you need to make sure that you are diving into what are your competition doing, because when someone has those weird items, they're going to ask around so that they can get the best price. Now, I don't want you to go race to the bottom. I don't want you to be the cheapest out there. Your time is worth money and you are building a business. You're not trying to pick up extra cash. If you just want to get extra cash, sure, go out and be the cheapest. But if you're trying to build a real business, the goal is it's about value of what you do and can you meet their time frames. There's so many other things, and by knowing what your competitors do and don't do, it's going to give you that competitive edge over them, so you don't have to be the cheapest. I just don't want you being another trash hauling kind of business. I want you to focus on the pain point you will solve and how you will do it and how you're going to stand out, because the reason that they're calling you is because they need to get rid of this junk. Maybe they're tired of paying fees for hoarding it. Maybe they just moved. Maybe they got to get their crap out of their house. Maybe they bought something new and it's got to go. Whatever the reason is, you need to be solving that pain point. Focus on that and people will pay you money. Because right now, if you ask somebody, hey, I'll charge you, $50 to take those tires away from you, and they're just sitting in their yard and they don't care, they're going to be like, oh, whatever, I don't need it gone. They're not going to pay you that 50. But if all of a sudden they're going to get fined or something else is going to happen, all of a sudden they'll probably pay you $100 to get rid of those tires if that's what's needed. You have to focus on the pain point. If you solve that, they'll be willing to pay what you need. Now, you need to also look into the legal requirements for your area. So one of the questions people ask all the time is, do I need to do an LLC or do I need to do a DBA? An LLC is just a legal entity. It gives you additional protection in case something was to happen. Doing business as is just you doing business as this business. So one has more legal protection to you, and that's the LLC. But I will tell you that each state determines the requirements. Some people will tell you you can't do a DBA. Some will tell you you must be as an LLC. Some people will tell you you absolutely must create an LLC. For most people, until you know this is truly what you're going to be doing, you can go with doing business as, and then once you go, yep, this is the business, I'm growing, I'm getting better at it, I want to keep going, then maybe become an LLC. You don't necessarily have to do it on day one, but you do need to look at what your state requirements are because they are going to determine a lot of different things. For example, licensing, permits, insurance. You definitely need general liability insurance because you are on people's property and handling stuff from their place. Once again, city, county, and state, they all may have different things. So you need to make sure you follow all of them and do your homework, because this is where a lot of people get into trouble. Because if you're operating a business, each one of these are going to have different requirements of what you need to do. Now, as far as funds needed, you need to look at all the different areas of your business and determine what it is that you need to have money for. So the good thing is when you're starting a trash hauling business, if you're just getting going, it could be something as simple as a pickup truck and some gloves to keep your hands from getting all that grimy and stuff, and the ability to, collect the money so you can take things to the dump or wherever you're going to do it. The vehicle is probably the biggest thing that you've got, but there are people that invest and get, they have trailers they haul so they can take different types of items. And you can just remember, you can bootstrap your business. As you make money, you can buy new things. So when you're saying absolutely starting, you can even borrow from a buddy, borrow their truck, or you can even go to U-Haul for $19.99. You can rent a pickup truck from them or a box van if you need to. So you don't necessarily even need to own that vehicle. You just have to have access to a vehicle. So make sure that you're looking into what your basic needs are and how you're going to spend that money in the first 6 months to reinvest it back into your business to get everything that you need. But it's a relatively cheap business to start. And when they're cheap to start, they're obviously really good ones too, as long as you don't mind. All right, now getting paid, you need to look into how you're going to do that. Are you going to be doing invoicing? Are you going to be bidding out jobs? Yes, you're going to be bidding out jobs because people have all kinds of crap and they will mislead you. So make sure that you're finding out exactly what it is that you're picking up. Are you going to do some fancy accounting? Most things when it comes to bookkeeping and accounting, you can't do it online. There are all kinds of programs that you can do online. The biggest thing is you want to make sure that you get paid. And what you might do is as you load it, you get paid then. Some people are using other alternatives to getting paid, whether it's check, cash. Some people are doing Zelle paying, the online paying systems that you have today. You need to make sure that you know every which way that you are going to be getting paid, because it's not worth it if you're not getting paid. Now, as far as marketing and branding, this is another area you need to jump into, because how are people even going to know that you exist? So what is going to be the marketing plan for your new business? How are you going to get the word out there that you are ready to go? Now, there's free advertising and there's paid advertising. We're obviously going to focus on the free advertising, and that is going to be done by word of mouth, Google Business, Bing Business. You want to make sure you have a Google Business page and the Bing Business page. People are going to how to pick up trash in my neighborhood, junk hauling in my neighborhood. You get those two things set up, those are even better than having an actual website set up, because that's what comes up. That's what everybody goes off of nowadays. So please make sure, and you can have a free website, by the way. You don't even have to have a paid website that you go off and do. Yes, as you get better, you're going to want to have some of those fancier things, but just to get going, just claiming your business on Google is a huge step. Okay, you're going to talk about things in Facebook. Realtors are huge for people that want to start trash hauling businesses and junk hauling businesses, because they are constantly working with clients who are moving. Because if you think about it, a buyer is moving into some place, so that means they're leaving another place. And if they're selling, they need to get rid of crap before they can move. So they've got people on both ends that they always are recommending people to. So definitely make sure you hook up with all the local realtors in your neighborhood. Make sure you're out there networking, letting people know what it is that you do. And I'm telling you that free word of mouth is going to be huge for you in this particular business. Later, you can focus on paid advertising if you want to get there, but honestly, in this particular business, you'll probably see your big competitors doing some of that, but honestly, you can build a really strong business through word of mouth in your local community. World domination, and you want to take over other towns, yeah, you can get into paid, but honestly, you can build a fantastic business locally through free advertising. You just have to have a plan how you're going to do it. Hiring people, you're not going to necessarily hire a full-on fledged team, but you might have people that you need to have on call to help you out with those bigger, bulkier items. So make sure that you're bringing the best that you can can. You're training them. You have an onboarding plan. How are you going to pay them? This is as you get bigger and bigger, and for your particular business, this is not as big of an issue for you. You just need to know. Now, you need to have a plan. You've done all of this research and you've looked into all these different things, and now it's time for you to put together a plan on making it happen. So a lot of people ask, do you need to have a business plan? Well, here's the thing. A traditional business plan is really needed to borrow money or to buy a franchise. And for most of you, you do not need to do this, especially for this type of business. You need what I call a success plan, because you still want to put a plan in place to start your business and to grow your business. So just do a success plan. Take all of the information, all the research, all the things that you've looked into, from pricing to who you want to service to who you're going to tackle, who you're going to focus on, all those different things, put them into a success plan. Now, I want you to slow down for a minute, because every successful business, it's about the numbers. It's not about what you take in. It's about what you keep. All right. Sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals profit. We need to focus on that calculation, because that's what's going to make you a business owner. Way too many people get into the junk hauling business or trash hauling business because they're just making some bucks that they can put into their pocket. You know, a person hands you $100, you pay any fees that you have to pay to get rid of their stuff, and then you keep the rest. Okay, that's more of like you paying yourself a job. You've created a job for yourself where you get paid. If you really want to start a business, you need to learn your business numbers, because that's the way you're going to grow and make some real serious cash. Okay, because when you know your business numbers, you're going to understand pricing, markup, markdown, profit and loss statements, a whole bunch of different things. Now, you don't need to try to do all this right away, but it is something that you need to make part of your plan, because you need to know your business numbers. You need to understand what a profit and loss income statement is. It is the business report card, and it's tracking the money going in and out of your business. So if you want to make sure that you are a true business person, you need to understand your business numbers. You're not trying to create a job, all right? You're not just trying to make some side money. Maybe that's how you start it. That's how some people get into it. But if you really want to make a job, a career out of this, and you really want to make some serious cash, you need to treat it like a business from the very beginning and not just a job. All right. And if you want to learn more about any of this stuff, we have 2 courses to help you out. One is to start a small business, and one is to know your business numbers. But honestly, you can look at all the YouTube videos that we have out there. They're going to help get you off the ground for free. You can just study those things, and it's going to help you get your business up and running. And if you like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell and push that like button and all of that. I appreciate it. And now I want you to get out there and be the badass business owner that you are meant to be.